Hi everybody, and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. The Q&A we'll be doing today was a requested video on leaking and how to prevent leaking from both menstrual cups and cloth pads. There are several issues with this type of question. The several issues are there are many different pad shapes, styles, fabrics, materials, and as there are menstrual cups. There's a lot of different varieties of stuff that you can use, and there's also a very big different variety, size and shape in the style and preference of underwear that you use. A shape or style may work absolutely brilliantly for somebody else, but not for you. So the first situation is that you are using the first question that you need to be asking yourself is, are you using the right size, shape and fabric that suits you? And are you using the right fit for your underwear? Do you have properly fitted underwear of your preference? Often we use old ratty broken elastic underwear for periods because we don't want to wreck our normal or good underwear. Some women some people who menstruate also experience period poverty, which is another video you can go and watch. We're not dealing with those issues in this video. So due to, say, the old ratty and broken underwear, so you don't destroy your normal everyday underwear, that this will contribute by their very nature of being broken, old, or out of shape, to leaking. So obviously another kind of consideration is your gender expression, as in, do you resent or avoid your cycle because it doesn't match with your identity or how you present, and therefore are not participating in your menstrual hygiene because it's something that you really don't want to experience, but you're kind of forced to. With that, there are period boxer shorts made by a company called Pyramid. I will make their link, I'll put their link down below, but they make boxer shorts with an internal gusset that will assist with these types of issues. So, and kind of the side note to this question is this is all presumption that the leaking that's occurring is not going through your pads. Most leaking in your pads will go over the top, down the bottom, or around the sides. It very rarely will go through your pads depending on the quality of your pads. Oh, that's right, just dropping my camera. Obviously in front of you I have quite a display of different kinds of pads. This one is a flannel topped and flannel backed. This is a cotton lycra topped and corduroy backed. I have mentioned this in several of my other videos, but corduroy is my favourite backer and it doesn't move. See, this one is a liner and only has like a layer of protection in the middle. This one here is classified as a moderate and has a hidden PUL layer. This one here is a light. This is a quilter's cotton topped, and it is this soft shell fleece backing. But then if you look at this is organic bamboo velour topped, which is again a very different. Here are 4 different pads with 4 completely different toppers, and on top of that another bunch of completely different backers. This is a grid style backer, and it is this is a kitty cat cloth sit-in kitten, and it is backed in WinPro. So this is a grid style WinPro fleece, which is water resistant. So automatically you have 4 pads, 4 different toppers and 4 different backers, and 7-inch, 8-inch, 8-inch, and these are all even different absorbencies. So light, moderate. So I would be wearing these that would cater to the amount that I'm bleeding, or how I bleed, or the way that the bleeding pattern that I have. If you want to go check out my bleeding pattern, it is on my Instagram. So it's kind of the same here. Here is another cotton topped and grid style Winpro fleece. This has 2 buttons, cam snaps, so you can actually change the gusset size. So maybe this is something that you need to invest in or research when you're looking at the type of underwear that you have. You're more likely not to leak if you have the appropriate gusset width, which is this size, and you buy the pads that suit your underwear. I don't have an example of this, but you can also get G-string type of liners as well, and you can get, you know, G-string type of stuff. You can get petite underwear, which has a very much smaller gusset. Again, this is a cotton topped, this is a fleece back, this is another backer. Again, you know, so these ones have hidden PUL, which means they have a core that's essentially leak proof. You know, this one here is cotton backed. So this one here, corduroy backed, fleece backed, soft shell fleece backed, or flannel backed, soft shell fleece, grid style Winpro, fleece, cotton. So what you're looking at is such a variety of stuff out there. You know, this again is a different type of topper. This is a crushed velvet topper. This is fleece backed. This one here, again, is different. This is this type of velvet topped. And this has got PUL on the back. So PUL, this type of stuff that is in both, this is a Muff Dusters pad, but also can be in Chinese cheapies. This type of backer, this is organic cotton topped, organic cotton core too. This is a laminated organic cotton backed. But for me personally, these two have the same effect on my underwear, is that they slippy slide around. So this PUL can be quite slippery. And this laminated cotton that's in use by Hanapad can be quite slippery for me personally. But these Hanapads work quite well for other people. These types of PUL backed ones, which is on this Muff Dusters pad, and other pads work quite well for people. I don't have any trouble with the fleece, it tends to do quite well. I've only worn this for one cycle. I haven't actually done a review on these yet. I'll do a review after I've used it 2 or 3 times, just so I can get much more of a gauge of how it works. And you know, I might be travelling or moving around in a period, and that gives a really good indication of what they're like to travel with. Again, you know, these are the types of things, Winstart like this here, I would never go through. So, but these also suit the type of underwear that I'm wearing, and they suit my preference. I am comfortable in them, which means that I have a vastly different attitude in dealing with these types of pads and underwear issues. So also, that's another thing, is not only what type of topper do you have, does it suit how heavy or how light you are, but do you have extra protection like hidden PUL? The other thing is, are you using a wash machine or a wash routine that compromises the absorbency of your pads? So this means, are you using, and do you live in a harsh water environment and you're not compensating for that? Do you use fabric softener, which is a bad idea because fabric softener actually makes these less absorbent? Or are you putting them in the dryer, which can warp, change, and make them less effective as pads? Particularly ones with PUL in the back, laminated cotton, and hidden PUL. But again, a lot of people live in apartments, or a lot of people don't have comfortable access to a laundromat or washing machine where they're necessarily going to be able to wash these effectively or efficiently. So Also, I live in a very hot country, but some people live in countries where it snows or where it rains heavily, in which case the necessity of drying them outside may not actually be genuinely available to you. So how do you compensate for that? And so maybe this actually leads them to put them in the dryer, which then reduces the absorbency and is not very conducive to the lifespan of your cloth pads. So are these exposed to hot or heat, hot water, irons, dryers, also bad for the pads? So if your pads, again, this is what comes back to what I said before about having and wearing effective underwear, is that if your pads are shifting to the side, you need to check your gusset width and the tightness of your underwear. If they are shifting back to front, you need to check the backer. I said before that with a PUL lined backer, like here, this can be exceptionally slippery on your underwear, and this can move up and down your underwear. These ones don't, because these ones grip onto your underwear. You know, it's the same as this Grid Style WinPro. You know, this one won't move, this one will move, this one won't move. So you're going to wear tighter underwear with this, or not have PUL back pads. This one here, you could wear looser pads and it's not going to move from where you have it. The other thing is, are you changing enough or regularly enough according to your cycle? This is one of the things that I always point out when people ask how many pads do I need, and I will always state that I've noticed a lot of people give out the answer of, oh, you need 12 to 20. That seems to be the most popular answer amongst people who use cloth pads, and that answer does my head in, because it's not a true or correct answer. I have a relatively heavy flow, particularly on days 2 and day 3. I can use up to 7 and 8, between 8 and 10 pads on a heavy day. If I'm using 8 to 10 heavy pads on a day, I am not going to be able to soak them, wash them and dry them in time by my second day. So if all I have are 12 pads, that's going to compromise me by lessening my changes. So I might change every 4 hours because that's all I have to change. But the truth is, because I have enough, sorry, I just had to drink because my throat's getting itchy. But the truth is, because I have enough pads now, I can change every 2 hours. And even when I'm heavy, I have put photos on my Instagram if you want to have a look. Generally, I'll bleed in this area here, but this part of the pad is actually quite heavy because there's quite a bit of blood that goes into this little bit here. So these ones can be quite absorbent and soak in quite a bit of blood, but I change more frequently. If you only have a small stash of 12, 15, 20 pads would last me day 2 and day 3, and that's it. But what would I use on day 1 or day 4 or day 5 or day 6? So, you know, do you have enough pads to either get you through your whole cycle and change adequately enough not to leak or spill? Or are you holding out because you only have 15 pads and can only wear 5 per day? So the best thing if it's moving around in your underwear is to look at your underwear, look at what style you're using, look at what style pads you're going to get to actually suit your preference of underwear, and also choose a backer like a Grid Style WinPro, corduroy, fleece, soft shell fleece or flannel that will grip to your underwear. Your wash and dry routine are important and vital for the care of your pads. Fabric softeners and dryer sheets encourage build-up and encourage your pads to retain chemicals that you don't want or need on them. Also, these fabric softeners and dryer sheets encourage build-up, reduce absorbency, and can create chemical reactions to both skin and to your skin, and also create reactionary smells to the chemicals that are in these fabric softeners and dryer sheets. If you dry store, you need to be aware of the airflow through your dry storage, and not to store them in dry storage for, depending on the heat, between 4, 5 to 7 days. If you wet store your pads, your soil pads, you need to change your water every at least 24 hours. So between 12 and 24 hours, depending on the heat of your environment. So hopefully that helps you out a bit with if your cloth pads are leaking. Get better underwear. Don't use crappy old underwear for your period. Buy your preference of underwear. Buy pads that suit your preference of underwear, and buy backers that aren't going to slip around on you. This may take trial and error. The most common causes of menstrual cup leaking are that it's not inserted properly. There is actually a significant learning curve when it comes to menstrual cups. So this is a lot of trial and error. For the first 3 months that I was using, or for the first 3 cycles that I was using menstrual cups, I put it in and took it out in the shower. So especially menstrual cups are quite a big deal when you come from tampons, and in particular when you come from using applicator tampons, because using a cup requires you to get far more intimate with yourself, and your vulva and your vaginal canal than using applicator tampons. So relax. Don't worry about it. There may be some accidents. You'll be okay. Just keep persevering for a couple of times. It took me a good 3 months to get comfortable, and even then, every time I change a cup, it's a little bit of a kind of redo, a little bit of a change, because all of the cups are a bit different. The second thing is that the cup's not popping open when you put it in. The way to solve this is basically the best ways to solve these type of things is learn your own body. Learn your cervix height, and so buy the most appropriate cup for you, and so you can get the most appropriate cup. So learn your own body, learn where your cervix height is, get a cup that suits you. I have seen some people who go, once you've inserted it, I use a punch down fold, which is like this, and sometimes it takes a little bit to pop out. This is the Ruby cup. It is very, very soft. Sometimes they say just rub your finger around the inside. I've never been able to do that effectively. I can run my finger around here. I have an exceptionally high cervix, but I can run my finger around here and this will be open, but this may be still like this. So I've never found this to be effective, but I also have an exceptionally high cervix. It's just what happens, I guess. There is so kind of these 3 things: learning your body, learning your cervix height, and getting a cup size that fits properly will essentially help you be able to not only insert it properly, but it to pop open, and then you to be able to take it out properly. But also put a cup in it. Has quite a few. It's another YouTube channel. They have quite a few good videos up on there on how to put it in and take it out. They also have a quiz on their website, which I will link down below. You can fill in this quiz, and they'll give you cups for you to consider, and they'll give a couple of matches for you, so that you can have a look and see what the best cup size for you is. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this actually helped you out in any of the problems that you've had leaking, or ideas that you may be able to help with leaking. Anyway, thanks for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.